Now, always remember tangent t plus pi is actually the ratio of sine pi plus t over cosine pi plus t. Okay? Now, and then the left hand side you will have a tangent t plus pi, and then the right hand side is negative sine t over negative cosine t. But negative is going to be positive. So then you have a tan sine t plus cosine t is tangent t. So you can see tangent t plus pi equals tangent t. That's different because here sine t plus pi or pi plus t is negative. And here cosine pi plus t equals negative cosine t, and here is without negative in front of it. Okay? You need to be aware about that. Okay, now we have done with those three. Now let's consider, write down here the angle is in the first quadrant. Here, if you rotate in a negative direction, is the fourth quadrant. The angle is in fourth quadrant. And here you rotate 180 degrees more, you get the third quadrant. So the only thing we left over is the angle in the second quadrant. The angle in the second quadrant can be got in this way. You see, you rotate the angle from initial side to this far in the fourth quadrant. Then you rotate positively 180 degrees. This angle is going to fall in the second quadrant. Okay? Then second quadrant, the x-coordinate will be negative 4 over 3, and the y-coordinate will be positive 3 over 5. Again, we like to see is in this place, then the angle is pi minus t now. Because first negative t, then you add pi on that, it's pi minus t. Okay, sine pi minus t is y-coordinate 3 over 5. So sine pi minus t is 3/5. That's why I wrote here. Sine pi minus t is 3/5. And then cotangent pi minus t, cosine pi minus t is negative x-coordinate. That's negative 4/5. Okay? So then, after we get this, we want to compare this one with the original one, sine t. You see, sine pi minus t is positive 3 over 5. Sine t is positive 3 over 5. So they are equal. Then you write sine pi minus t is sine t. They are equal. Okay? And then cosine pi minus t is negative 4 over 5, is from here. And here cosine t was 4 over 5 positive. So again, if you put negative in front of it, then they will be equal. So cosine pi minus t, if you put negative in front of it, that's negative cosine t. So they are equal in this way, from this picture and this picture. Okay? So the process down here you can see is you rotate the angle and then see sine, cosine, and then compare with the original one. So you will get another pair of the formula. Okay? Now, let's consider tangent. That's y over x. We know y is sine, x is cosine after we restricted our radius to 1. Okay? So then sine over cosine is tangent. Tangent pi minus t on the left hand side will be sine over cosine will be tangent pi minus t equals right hand side is sine t over negative cosine t, and positive over negative is still negative, and then sine t over cosine t is tangent t, so negative tangent t. Okay, so down here then you can see tangent pi minus t equals negative tangent t. Since cotangent t is the reciprocal, so then you know cotangent pi minus t is negative cotangent t. Okay, because you know down here there was a 1. If you want to put there was 1 here, there was 1 here. You flip it, it comes to be cotangent. You flip it, it comes to be cotangent, but negative sign still stays there. Okay? Alright, so using this picture, you'll find out 1 pair, 2 pair, second pair, third pair, fourth pair, plus you may find out relationship between tangent. Okay? So those 4 pairs formula are very important. Actually very easy to get from here. Okay? So after we get this far, then let's do some questions with calculator. You know, in the readers, we have angles has 2 different ways to measure it. One is in degree, another is in radian. Okay? So we say in TI-83 calculator it has 2 different modes for angles. Yeah. And then how are we going to know the calculator is in what kind of mode? You see, after hitting the key mode, the highlighted word in row 3 tells us the current mode. Okay? Look, right here. This is our calculator. Alright? Now, you hit the mode after hitting the key mode, and then you see the 3rd row, which is radian and degree. There are 2 modes. The highlighted word, that's radian. So in this case, the calculator is in mode radian. If we want to change it, you can using the arrows down here to move the cursor to the degree is flashing, and then hit the enter key. And then the highlighted part, you see, is changed from radian to degrees. This is important because, you know, when we calculate like sine 24 degrees, 10 minutes, we need to have our calculator in degree mode. Now it's in degree mode. We go back, we do second quit. Okay? Second quit. Now, how to calculate that? And here are the steps. Let's look at that. Okay. You want to put step 1 is hit sine. Okay? Sine. And then you want to input 24. So that will be 24 here. It has to be in degree. Then you put second. And then angle. Hit number 1. Number 1. Or you may hit enter. So 24 degrees shows up. And then if you hit 10, So you want minute. So you want to do is second, and then angle. The second one, 2, and then hit the close parenthesis. Then hit the enter. So you have the answer is 0.409, 0.409. Remember, it has to be in degree mode. You can enjoy yourself. If it were in radian mode, you'll get different answer. Okay, so be careful. It has to be in degree mode. Okay, that's one way to calculate sine. Another way is we work on cosine, and here is in radian. 0.63 is a real number in radian. So how are we going to do that? So you want to do again, you want to check the mode before you calculate. If you hit on that, that's in degree mode. So you cannot do that. You want to do is move the cursor down and then hit the enter. So it changes to radian mode. And then you do second, quit. So comes back. Okay, then you do this one, might be easier. Cosine. So cosine, then the left parenthesis shows up. Then you hit 0.63 here. And then close parenthesis. Okay. So then if you hit enter, you have a 0.8080. Okay. You see, so those are the steps. Okay. I'll see you next time.